Let's move on to our last speaker then, Sat IP, Maxim Dewitte from Johansson.
Good afternoon, thanks for having me. So my name is Maxim Dewitte. I'm a business development manager at the Unitron. Unitron is a Belgian company which is specialized in, let's say, developing and manufacturing distribution accessories for distribution of satellite, terrestrial, and cable TV signals. So I will talk about Sat IP, some of our products we have. So maybe first I will talk about, let's say, the market need. So imagine that you have a nice hotel and you're already, let's say, give live TV through your guest through satellite. So what do you do if you want to give the same signals to your guests so that they can watch them on a smartphone, tablet, PC, whatever? So what do you do? Second, you have maybe a lovely family which is growing, some nice children, and everybody of course knows that all the children now are watching more TV or video on their mobile devices than that they watch TV on the TV set which is in the living room. So how do you give this functionality if your feeds are coming through satellite? How do you give the, let's say, functionality to your children so that they can watch TV on their devices while the parents are watching, let's say, the news channel on the main TV? So today the most cost-effective way is Sat IP. You could say, okay, there's nothing new. You already have IPTV solutions which give this functionality. But of course, most of these solutions are proprietary. They come with middleware. You need servers. You need a license, a service agreement to maintain it. So it's becoming all complex. So Sat IP is, let's say, resolving all this hassle. So Sat IP, as probably most people know, is, let's say, SES Astra, the satellite operator, took the initiative to come up with a standard. So basically they looked at how people are watching TV, and the trend is of course that everybody is now, more and more people are watching TV on the smartphones and tablets. So then they asked the question, how can we give the same, let's say, experience to people watching TV through satellite? And maybe they don't have a broadband internet connection, so how can you still give this mobile flexibility to watch TV? So they gathered this group of companies from the industry to come up with a standard. So Sat IP, the main concept is that it's a standard protocol. And because it is a standard communication protocol, this allows, let's say, all different companies to make products which are Sat IP compliant. And the main advantage is that everybody can develop, let's say, the products where he is specialized in, without, let's say, having to, let's say, come up with a total solution as you see today with IPTV. So everybody can independently develop products. And if they are certified, if they are Sat IP compliant, they will work together out of the box. And Sat IP is, let's say, the protocol is developed in this way that it can be used for any type of business, in the sense for single family homes or multi-dwelling units. So of course, the main advantage is that you can transport TV signals over an IP network. So your own local network. So you don't need anymore a coax network. So coax cables are not needed anymore. For instance, in my house, I think I have 4 coax cables, one going to the living room, one to the kitchen, one to my bedroom. But what if the children want to watch TV in their room? Okay, you have to pull new cables. That's not always easy. So you have to drill holes and things like that, so most people try to avoid this. The same for hotels. Now if you have maybe many hotels, new hotels, they consider, should we put, besides the Ethernet network, should we still put a coax network? I think some hotels will decide, okay, let's only put an Ethernet network, but then we need to be able to provide all the services, including TV, over that network. How do you do this? And for all these cases, Sat IP is the perfect solution. So it's really a cost-effective way to distribute signals over an Ethernet network. being it wired or wireless. You know, with IPTV, if you want to, let's say, send a TV signal over a wireless network, people who are familiar with IT know it's not so easy. Because of the, let's say, most cases, video streams are multicasted. So SAT-IP is a unicast way of streaming, so this allows it that you can easily, let's say, distribute video streams over a wireless network. And as I said, the main advantage, there is no middleware. So it's an end-to-end communication, the client being the smartphone, tablet, set-top box, TV, communicates directly, let's say, with the head end or the server. So this is a main advantage of the SAT-IP protocol. And of course, it's new technology. Because it's IP, let's say there are no limitations. So the IP network, being it physical or wireless, gives you a lot of opportunities. You can combine it with OTT services. You can combine it with your local video server. So there are all a lot of possibilities there. So we as a company, we focus on products for multi-dwelling units. So many manufacturers who are designing products, SAT-IP compliant products, focus on single-family homes. So we, from our side, we focus on multi-dwelling units. So this means products which can be used, for instance, in the residential apartment buildings to distribute a signal, or in hospitality, hotel, resorts, and so on. So now I will talk a little bit about the two products that we have. So one is the Multiswitch. This is a SAT-IP Multiswitch we call, because let's say you can replace the traditional Multiswitch with a SAT-IP Multiswitch. It looks a little bit the same. The main difference is, so it has the four traditional inputs for the 4 satellite bands. You can cascade it, so you can put one unit after the other. The main difference with the standard Multiswitch is the output is IP. But in this case, we have 2 outputs. So each output can go to one family home. And on this one cable, you can have up to 8 connections. 8 client devices can watch TV at the same time independently. So this is, let's say, the drawing. So you have a satellite dish with LMB, the 4 quadrants going in with the 4 satellites bands, and then on the output, the Ethernet output, this you connect to an Ethernet network, being it wired or wireless, and this way you distribute the satellite signals to any client device. And as I said, the main advantage is everyone can watch independently from one another to whatever TV channel which is available through the antenna, so at any time. For instance, if you have an apartment building with 2 apartments per floor, you can put such a multi-switch on every floor. So you could just have the trunk cables going down from one unit to the other, and then to the apartment, you only have one Ethernet cable going to the apartment, and then you distribute. In most cases, probably you will use a wireless network. So it's a very easy way for, let's say, providing your family to watch TV in every corner of the house without putting all the coax cables that you would have to do today. So another product that we have, it's also a SAT-IP server, but this one is more, let's say, like a head-end. This one is more aiming to the hospitality market. So whereas you looked at the product for residential buildings, there we give 8 client connections per household. Of course, for the hospitality, you would need more. So this device, this SMATV server, provides up to 32 client connections. So this allows you for 32 viewers to watch TV independently. There is still a difference with the multi-switch, because this server allows you, we talk not about 32, let's say, SAT-IP connection, but 32 services. And because each service you can configure or to be a SAT-IP connection or to be, let's say, a traditional IP streamer. So for instance, if you have a small hotel and you say, okay, I can go to the next slide. So if you have a small hotel, 30 rooms, and you say, okay, I want to have a playlist of 20 predefined TV channels, which I want to stream on the network so that the guests can watch the 20 channels on their TV in the room. So if you configure 20 channels in this way, you still have 12 connections left. And this, for instance, you can then use, and you put a wireless router in the bar of the hotel, and this allows you for 20 guests to watch any TV channel in the bar. So this product allows you to, let's say, configure it in the way you need. You could say 32 is not much. Of course, you can always combine multiple servers, because the server also has the cascading capabilities. So if you have different satellite positions, then you can use 2 servers, 2 different satellite dishes. If you need more than 32, let's say, client connections, you can just add the number of servers that you need. So this is a little bit, in a nutshell, what we are doing. So if there are any questions, feel free to ask.
Hi. With the satellite TV, are you talking purely about free-to-air? How do you manage content protection, pay TV platforms, and redistribution rights and things for pay TV?
Good question. Indeed, for the moment, it works with free-to-air. Yeah. That's for sure. For the channels which are content protected, let's say basically SAT-IP, there's nothing really foreseen to handle the encrypted channels. Basically, they will just forward the encrypted stream to the end device. So the decryption should happen, or the CAS should happen at the end device. So
if the end device is a satellite receiver, then
yes,
it could be decrypted in the normal way?
In the normal way, yes. And there we look at, let's say, the right owners, so the pay TV operators. So ideally, they should foresee their receivers, their set-top box, to be SAT-IP compliant. Because it doesn't make a difference if the signal is coming through a coax cable, through RF, or if it's coming through the Ethernet over a network cable. At the end, the digital stream ends up in the receiver, and there you can do, again, the decryption.
But it has to be then really sort of software. It's not feasible to plug smart cards in or anything. It'd have to be
for
software.
Yes.
Software.
Let's say for set-top boxes and TVs, so hardware clients, you can do it the traditional way with COM modules and smart cards. Yeah. Of course, there's a bigger challenge for the smartphones and the tablets. Of course, there are also solutions there. You could do the software CAS, or you could use DRM. So maybe you have your receiver, which is doing the CAS decryption, and then you use other content protection ways like DRM to then go the last step to the client device. So there are a lot of ways to do it. But it's up to, let's say, the owner, the right owner, to decide how to approach it.
Well, thank you very much. It's interesting. What would you say your biggest market would be for this, and geographically?
For the moment, let's say Germany is a big market, because there you have a lot of interesting free-to-air channels.
Right.
If you talk about the encryption of the pay TV channels, let's say any market could be, but there it depends on the pay TV operator if he embraces this technology or not. But for today, indeed, it's wherever there is a lot of free-to-air channels, which are, let's say, interesting free-to-air channels.
And then you've got your market. Okay.
Yes.
Maxim, thanks very much indeed.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.